Let me tell you something. Who are they? Just gonna toss the ball around a little. Sit hard!
Wait, what are we doing?
That man's smile about to be on the floor. This is how you do your teammate? I'm not just gonna give it to you. You got to take. So what are you willing to sacrifice?
Well, I had a chance to watch this movie the other night, and I was so surprised at how intense it was. From the storyline, from the acting, and of course, the visuals. So my first question is, the movie shows us the intention of creating the perfect football player in 6 days. And then we see that transformation throughout the entire movie. How do you visualize the progression of this story to make it more sinister?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, for me and for Justin Tippin, our director, it was, important to kind of show, lean into the visual language of football and, sports movie genres, and then kind of switch slowly into the psychological horror part of that, like the genre, like the visual tropes of that genre. And so, like in the beginning, when Cam is playing, it's like, much more like it's fluid camera work, it's handheld, it's, there's like times where we like attach cameras to him, and so you kind of see a lot of movement. But then as he starts to descend throughout the week at the compound, like the camera becomes more rigid. The framing becomes a little bit more fixed. Like there's more center punch symmetry that happens within the frames. And I think that's just to kind of show that he's both literally and figuratively trapped in this place. We also did a lot of play with lighting. In the beginning, we're much more like it's more neutral, like a gym, sort of like top light, things like that. But then as we go along, we definitely have even more shadows come up. There's a lot more color contrast that we played with, just to kind of like, again, show the visual change of where he is.
Perfect. Well, the movie combines two different genres, very unusual, because from one side we have sports and the other one we have horror. But from your perspective, how challenging was it to merge those elements and still give this movie its own personality?
Yeah, I think that it was, for us, it was something we always knew we wanted to play with. I think that in the beginning, Justin showed, some different references from these great, like, 90s Nike ads and like sports ads and things like that that are still like, from the football sections that we show, it's still pretty stylized. But then we're able to kind of merge a little bit as he, into the psychological stuff as things start getting more and more off. So it was important for us to be able to look at examples for both and really figure out where our film kind of fit into those. And I think it ends up making it really unique because it's both of those and then neither of those at the same time. So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, I don't want to give away too much spoilers, but the biblical aspect of the story throughout the entire film takes this story to another level. As a cinematographer, the artistic side of the film reflects so much of this intensity. To what extent do you feel it's important to design that visual that matches this film?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important, and it's something that, like, we worked together, not like, Justin, but then also our production designer, Jordan Ferrer, our costume designer, Dominique Dawson. We all really sat together a lot and just talked about, we would sit together a lot and look at different references, look at different images look at different color combinations. We worked together in a way that I think, made it so that the film had a very visually cohesive feel. And that that all of the different visuals were working together to tell this story. And I know that like a lot of the religious iconography was something that we were able to put on the screen, and came from Justin in a way of like just making sure we were just kind of tracking where Cam was.
Perfect. So Marlon Wayans actually gives me it felt so creepy. This movie,
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the joke, the punchline, but no, he made it
No.
more creepier. Can you share us a little bit of a light on how was it to work with the entire cast?
Yeah, I mean the cast of this is pretty amazing. Like between Marlon and then Tyreek and then Tim Heidecker and Jim Jeffries. I think it was one of those. It was an environment where there was like a lot of fun on set. It was like an enjoyable place to be. But then as soon as the camera started rolling, Marlon would like tap into this definitely much more sinister place. But then as soon as it was cut, it was like, okay, jokes again. And I think that yeah, he does a really beautiful job with this character. And Tyreek is just so great. Like it was so wonderful to see his process and just see what he brought to this. And yeah, it was a really great set, a really good experience on set.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your times and congratulations on this movie. Don't forget, if you want to experience the terror and the temptation of making the ultimate sacrifice, you have to watch him in theaters. Thank you so much.
Thank you.